Alright, y'all, what's going on? What's going on? Uh, Today we ain't gonna do no reaction. We actually gonna talk about this new show that came out that talk about Emmett Till life and about his mother. It's about his mother and his life and what happened to him, what led up to what happened to him and stuff like that. And it's called Women in Movement, I think. Let me see. It's called Women in Movement, and I've been watching it on Hulu. Women of the Movement, yeah. And I've been watching it on Hulu, and it just I've been knowing about what happened to Emmett Till ever since high school, junior high, because they talk about it. They don't actually talk about it, but they talk about it in like history class and stuff with the Martin Luther King and stuff like that. But just recently this month they released a show about him and not just what happened, what type of person he was, cause it's people trying to put him at like he was a grown man when he was just 14 years old when he when they brutally killed him, because when his uncle came in to identify the body, the only way he recognized him was because Emmett was wearing his father military ring that he got from the military. That was the only way he couldn't identify him from his face, because his face was so unrecognizable. His face was like, it's crazy. It's hard to look at that. And that happened back in 1955. Fast forward to what we got going on now. It's pretty much like a repeat. It's a repeat of what's going on in this world now. And because we still got black people dying. And it remind me of the Measles song that he made, The White Sin. In that first verse he said, I'm sorry George Floyd got killed. I kneel, but I don't feel white guilt. That's real. I don't feel black guilt. I'm proud to be black. That's what Measles was saying. He proud to be white. But he said that's not who I am just because a white man killed George Floyd. Don't paint me as that image. That's what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to be black, but it's still a lot that's going on in this world with this black on black crime, and not just that. Black people still dying from white people. White people still killing black people. It's still going on. 60, 70 years later from Emmett Till getting brutally killed like that from two white men, 60, 70 years from now, and it's still going on. It's still going on. And it's sad. It's a lot have changed, but a lot haven't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of races still go on. And when I watch something like that, it does upset me, because the boy didn't do nothing wrong. All he did was, back in the old days, you can't look at a white person. You have to look down. And I didn't know that part till I did my research and actually watched the show about it. They didn't teach me that white people, if they did, I forgot, because I graduated 10 years ago. But most of the stuff that they taught us in history class, I remember. I remember them teaching us about Martin Luther King, about Malcolm X, about the KKK, and all the other stuff, about Harriet Tubman, about all that. And they also, said something about Emmett Till. But when I did my research about him, Man, when I did my research about him and I actually watched this show, the way those two white men didn't didn't even care that they brutally murdered somebody. They shot him in the forehead. Then first they tortured him. Then they shot him in the forehead for just whistling at a white woman, speaking to a white. He spoke to the white woman too. You do a 14-year-old boy like that. Oh, it would have been no problem if that white 14-year-old white boy came in and looked at that woman and talked to that woman. There would have been no problem, because back in those days, and I don't want to even say back in those days, because the shit still going on. The racist shit still going on. I don't want to even say back in those days, because the shit still going on. Young black boys still getting killed. Yes, we got a lot of black on black crime, but white people still killing our kind. And the reason why I say our kind, because I'm proud to be black. My skin color is black. So I represent the black people. Just like a person that's white will represent white people, I know that I'm an African American. And wrong is wrong. We still are human at the end of the day. You can't look at me and get mad because my skin is brown. You can't hate me because my skin is brown. But that's the world we living in today, is still going on. Back then and now. And you know, he got brutally killed in Mississippi. Back then, they hung slaves in Mississippi. He actually from Chicago. You know, he ain't from Mississippi. He was visiting his family, his cousins and stuff, staying in Mississippi for the summer, a vacation and stuff. And that's where he got killed at, in Mississippi. But at the end of the day, all that boy wanted to do was just enjoy his vacation. And he didn't even do nothing to that white woman. You know, back then a black person had to look down at a white person. I wouldn't have made it back in them days, because you ain't finna control me. They would have had to been kill me. If I was living back in them days, y'all would have never heard of Smokey J or nothing like that. Cause you ain't finna take control of me and own me. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have made it. Wrong is wrong. You owning a human, you feel good about owning a human. You feel good about that. That's why but you best to believe God's watches. And karma does come back on your ass when you do wrong. All those slave owners that own the slave, where they at now? Where they at now? Where they at now? And trust and believe, it still goes on in some areas, in some state, you know. But like I say, back then, and it still continues to this day, the way they did that boy was, I don't even have words for it. And you know, the uncle just thought they was gonna take him out and whoop him, but instead they took him out, put him in the truck, and drove off. And then next that they came and got him that Wednesday, and uncle identified him, knew it was him that Sunday. So he was missing for a couple of days. The whole time he in the river. It's a sad situation. But in today's world, we still living like that. We still living back in the day. And back like I was in 1955, we still living like that. And I'm Southern. I'm a part of Mississippi. I'm a part of Mississippi. I'm from Mississippi. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And I look at that and I be like, damn, Mississippi. And it is just not Mississippi. It was a couple other states that owned slave and killed slave, hung slaves, and pictures of slaves being hung for them damn trees and just brutally killed because they looked. You can just look back in them days. You can look at a white person and get killed for looking at them, and it still go on today. Is why would you hate me because of my skin color? We bleed the same. I have white friends, I do, and I'm just glad I wasn't a part of back in the day because I would have been long gone dead 50, 60 years ago. If I was a part of back in 1955, I would have been gone because you ain't finna control me. I'm sorry. They would have been had to just go and take me out because my dignity is way too much. I had too much courage to just for you to demand me to do this and demand me to bend my head down when looking at a white person. I have too much dignity. You ain't finna do me like that. I wish a motherfucker would tell me to bend your head down when you look at a white. I wish a motherfucker, you might as well go and kill me now. Real talk. Cause yeah, I might be in this wheelchair. Yes, it might be easy for you to take me out. But karma's a motherfucker. You think God ain't watching? God, they say God white or God is black. God is every color. Chinese, Mexican, white, black, Indian. He all race. He ain't one. He ain't just no white person. I see a lot of these when I see pictures of God. I mainly see him white. God ain't white. He all race. He created us all. I don't understand why white people look at a brown person and go, "Oh, I hate him. I hate him. Look at his skin. Look at her skin. Look at your skin. It's white. We just two different colors." I don't. That's why I say I couldn't live back in them days. I would have been long gone. I wouldn't even be having this conversation with y'all because you ain't finna have control over me like that. Like I say, where them slave owners now at? Where them slave owners now at? And nowadays, people got statues of slave owners. Like they some type of inspiration. This person owned a damn human. And y'all want to make a statue of them? That type of shit it does piss me off. Because what if the shoe was on the other foot? Black slave owner getting put up as a statue and stuff like that. And it probably is. They say it was some black slave owner. It probably was. I'm pretty sure. But do you think that black slave owner beat it, whoever was working for him? He probably sold his slaves. But the way slaves got treated back then, brutally whipped to death and hung, shot, left in a river, thrown in rivers and just left to drown to get ate up. That's why see, I'm having this conversation with y'all, but I'll sit there and I watch this show and it get me to thinking like I couldn't have made it back in those days. And it is different in today's world, but then again it's not. Only a little bit have changed and we still repeating the cycle. We still repeating the cycle with George Floyd, what's the woman name that got killed in the back seat of the cop car with the list go on. The list go on and on and on and on. On and on and on. And I don't, at this point, I don't think it will ever stop. I don't think it will ever stop. But now black people is just fighting back. That's the way I see it. They fighting back. They don't care if that, at this point, they don't care if you a cop. You say some slicks, and it's some bad cops. Like I said in my last recent video, it's some bad cops out there that think they got they do have the authority. Don't get me wrong, but they have so much authority, they get so far up their ass. So when they stop you, they think, yo, you gonna do this and that, or accept the consequences. No, when you stop me, you say license and registrations, and you tell me to get out the car, and if you find something, then you arrest me. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm running from you, you don't shoot me in my fucking back. You chase after me. If I'm not pointing a gun at you, you chase after me. Most of these cops don't even want to do their job. And I done said that before too. They don't want to do their job. They don't want to chase after you when you run. And you can just be running to run away from them because you don't want to go to jail. And they don't want to chase after you. They don't want to do that. They just want to, get you out the car, arrest you, get you at your home, arrest you, wherever you at, and arrest you. But if you run, they don't want to chase you. That's when they pulling out their gun. You don't have to have nothing on you. And trust me, I done seen it before. I forgot his name. Dude, the black dude ran. I don't know. I know for sure he didn't have a gun on him, but they probably planted that there. But they saying he had a gun on him, but then you shoot him in the back. He was running, and you shoot him in the back because you can't catch up to him, and you can't catch up to him in football tackle. That's your job. Do your job. It is some good cops out there that if you run, they will chase you. I'm not saying all cops bad. There's some good cops out there. I know a couple good cops. But it's a lot of bad cops. Just as much as it's good cops, there's a lot of good cops, there's a lot of bad cops out there. A lot of crooked cops that steal money, don't do their cases like they supposed to do their cases, don't want to halfway do their job. Yeah. This is the world we living in. Well, we had to help most of these cops do their job. Of course, when you say freeze 9 times out of 10, that person gonna run because that person don't want to go to jail. But there's your job to catch them. Not to just, pull out your gun, I'm finna shoot them. Because I'm lazy as fuck and I don't want to chase them. But that's your job. They teach you that in training. When they don't freeze, chase after them and catch them and put them under arrest, not fucking kill them. That's how you get paid. When you put somebody under arrest, that's how you get paid. By bringing them in the station and putting them in jail. Nowadays, we got those phones. We got technology. So everything's getting recorded. Everything's getting recorded. That's what I can say. Back in those days, it wasn't no cameras and this and that. So if a black person died, it wasn't enough evidence. But nowadays, in the 21st century, it's technology. That's as much as I can say that have changed. But the killing have not. We repeating the cycle with the killing. Only difference is black people is fighting back. And a lot of people like, if he did this or she did this and she wouldn't end up dead or he wouldn't end up. No. No. We can both be alive and go home at the end of the day, but no. And most situations, it don't end like that. Somebody may at 9 times 10 end up dead. In the last couple of years, that's what all I've been seeing. Only the cop go home. Only the cop go home. I don't know. It's a lot of work. And I look back and I've been watching the women of the movement. I think that's what it's called, but it's the Emmett Till story about him and his mother, about the trial and all that. And I also heard with the woman who said that Emmett whistled at her, the woman who told her husband that Emmett whistled at her, on her deathbed, she wrote a letter saying that he didn't whistle at her or something like that. That it didn't happen the way she told the story, 50 or 60 years ago. That she was just lying in most of what she was telling the police. So you got that boy killed for no reason. Because he looked up at you and spoke to you, pretty much. Or he whistled at you. I can go outside right now and whistle at a white person. Wouldn't be no problem. Back then, if I said hello to a white person, I'm gone. If I say, hey, how you doing? I'm gone. Back then. With me being from Mississippi, living in Mississippi, back then I would have been long gone. I spoke to somebody white. If I speak to somebody now, go out there and go outside right now and speak to a white person. Wouldn't have been no problems. I know mostly every white person around here. Hey, like, what? It's just a little town where I'm from, so the white people I know been knowing me mostly ever since I was a kid. And if they do have a little bit of racism in them, they don't show it. They do not show it. Not around black people, not while they around black people. That's what I can say, how much then changed since then. If they is racist, they will not show it around a black person nowadays. They'll try to, low-key cover it up, because they don't want to be called racist and stuff like that. Especially over here in the southern and the south and stuff. But most the white people, rednecks, or however you want to put it, they'll show it. Still to this day, they'll show it. But not where I'm from. I done ran into a couple white people that, you can tell that, they kind of don't like black people. You can tell. But they ain't finna just sit there and, say this and that about you. You can tell, though. It's written over their face, like how they look at you, how they kind of pull away from you. Especially if you see them in the store or something, it's the look that they give you. You know what I'm saying? It's the look that they give you. But it's still going on. For sure. It's still going on. And it's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that Emmett Till had to go through a brutal murder like that. Like, they tortured that boy, shot him, and threw him in the river. Now just imagine that. Imagine Emmett Till being white. And I don't know how long the trial and stuff went on, cause I'm watching the episode from episode, and I'm still doing my research about it. But I don't even know if the two white men even went to prison or got death row or anything for that. Cause one of the white men's admitted to kidnapping Emmett Till that Sunday night. He admitted to the police. But back then, the sheriff was white. and racist, didn't like black people back then. So he was pretty much trying to help them. Yup, he was pretty much helping them, helping the two white men that killed Emmett Till. And they saying, this and it was 3 witness black men, black kids, because they looked like kids to me, that heard him screaming in the shed. The story go on and on. I'm still doing my research. And, they were scared to come up, because back then you come up and say this and that, especially with a white person doing such and such to a black person, you won't get to tell your story in that trial, because 9 times 10 they gonna get you next. They ain't gonna let you make it to that trial. And that's why the 3 witnesses were scared to come forward. But they eventually did. That's where I'm at. They going through the trial and this and that. And the 2 white men, they came in there with a smile at the trial. They came in there with a smile on their face. Came in there with their 2 kids and their wives. And one of the dudes had a cigar in his mouth, smiling. They had the white judge, and all 12 juries was white. I'm just trying to figure out what happened next with the situation. All 12 juries are white. So that don't end good, of getting a fair trial. That do not end good. Especially back in the day now. If it would have happened in the early 2000s, oh yeah, they probably get the death penalty. They probably get the cheer or the ejection, if it happened in the 2000s. But back then, That's why black people were scared back then, scared to speak or scared to talk. Because they fear for their life, they fear for their family getting killed or them getting killed. And that's why you see a lot of black people just lashing out on the white cops, on any. You don't have to be a cop on any white person that come up to them and try to take them out. Enough is enough. This is not back in 1955. You do not own me. As a lot of white people that's low-key racist, undercover racist, because that's how they was raised. That's what how they mother and father taught them. Don't like that. You better not be playing out there with no black people. You better not make friends with no black people. That's how they was raised. And they taught their kids that because they was taught that. But there's still not no excuse to just kill a black person because of their skin color. And that's what they pretty much done with Emmett Till. Because if he was a white boy, he'd still be here. I'm just being real. If he was a white boy, he would still be here. And if the shoe was on the other foot, and he was white, would have been no problem at all. But the simple fact he was black, they brutally done him like he was just nothing, animal. I wouldn't even say treat him like, because you don't treat an animal like that either. They treated him like he was nothing. Then threw him in the river. And you think about it, what if it were one of their sons? Somebody just came up and kidnapped one of those white men that done it to Emmett Till. What if somebody kidnapped their son and done that to their son? They would want justice. They would feel what Emmett Till mother felt. They would feel that. They would feel that. You don't know the feeling unless you go through it. They got to go through that. If something like that happened to one of their sons, they would want justice. They would want justice. And that's what the show mainly all about, is him getting justice, what happening to him, what type of person he was. He was a kid, just being a kid. That's it. But what if it was one of their sons got brutally murdered like that? They would want justice. They would have even found who did it and murdered them. I know y'all know that movie A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson in it. Yeah, I know y'all. I know y'all done seen that movie, A Time to Kill. When them two white men raped that little girl and beat her bad, raped her so bad that she couldn't have kids when she get older. I know a lot of y'all done seen A Time to Kill. His lawyer was white, and he told them juries, just imagine if the black girl was a white girl. So he said, just imagine her being white and that done to her. And he didn't, but see, Samuel, the dude, killed, the two white men that done that to his daughter. Killed them in the courtroom. And trust and believe, if that was my child, I would have done the same thing. If something like that happened to one of them white men, daughter like that, they would have done the same thing. Cause and it was back in the day. That movie was based on back in the day. And Samuel knew it wasn't gonna be no justice for his daughter. If they was going to jail, they wouldn't go to jail for a couple years. Probably 5 or 6, 7 years. That's it. And then they were gonna be out for doing that to a little girl. I think she was like 10 or 11 in that movie. It's called A Time to Kill. Y'all should go watch it. Because every time I watch it, it pisses me off. You do that, you beat her half to death, then rape her. Then I think they pissed on her. I'm just being real. I'm telling you how a lot of this shit is still going on. And that's why I say, if we don't come together, then we gonna destroy each other. We gonna take out each other. If we don't come together, we gonna destroy each other. If Emmett Till was white, he would still be here. But just because he black, that brutally murdered, they did that boy brutally murder. They did him in a bad. It's horrible. Go look up Emmett Till and see how his body was after they found him. Go on YouTube and look it up. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all done seen that. They heard the story about Emmett Till. And it's a lot more others. Young boys and young girls, black young boys, black young girls that happened to. Back in the day and recently in the 21st century. It still go on. Yeah, it still go on. We have to make that change. If we don't, it's just gonna keep going on and on. But I be damned if somebody finna control me. You don't own me. No. You might as well take me out now. I'm the only one who control me. And like I say, I couldn't have made it back in those days. No way in hell. I would have been long gone. Cause I'ma speak my mind. You ain't finna stop me from speaking to you, whether you white, black, any race. If I come into your store, I'm finna speak to you. That's just how I was raised. Hello, how you doing? That's just how I was raised. You don't have to speak back. That's just me saying hello, how you doing? You don't have to say nothing back. But back in those days, hmm, look, do your research. Do your research. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do your research. But I don't want to keep y'all here too long, because me just talking about that, it gets me mad all over again. But I really do hope for a change, because my nephews and my nieces gotta live in this world. So I really do hope for a change. I hope that we can come together. My nephews, they have white friends. They live right down from the road from their white friends. And, they play together all the time. But I watched it. I watched the Emmett show tonight with my nephew. I watched a little bit of. I showed my nephew how his body would look after they found, how he looked before then, and how he looked after they found his body. And he said that's messed up. They should have never done him like that just because he whispered and he talked to a white woman. And I said, just imagine him white. Would you think that happened to him? I said, I told him, I said, talking to my nephew, I said, just imagine him white. You think that would happen to him? He said no. He said no, it wouldn't have happened to him if he were white. But since he a different color, and the hate of them back then, the hate they had against black people because of their skin color, it was definitely real. It was definitely real. Most black people got hung because they were black back in the day. Because you black, you get hung. Yeah. And this happened in different states, not just in the southern and south and Mississippi. It happened in different states, not just Mississippi. And that's what I was telling my nephew. Like, I told him, and it's still going on to this day. And he know that with the George Floyd and with the other people. I'm trying to. It's so many I can't think of, but I know, with George Floyd, because a lot of people talk about him. You know what I'm saying? And in the songs, on the shows, on the stuff like that. So that's how I know George Floyd name off back. But I sat there and I talked to my nephew. I said, and this still goes on. It ain't stopped. It ain't been stopped years ago. The cycle's repeating itself. Yeah, a lot have changed, but a lot haven't. And like I say, we got to get it together. We really do. But before you take me out, I will not die a coward by listening to what another human say. Yeah, if you don't do what I say, I kill you. Will kill me then. I will not take the coward way out. I wasn't raised that way. It doesn't matter because I'm in the chair. I don't give two fucks about being in the chair. You not finna control me. No. You might as well go and take me out. That's why I said I couldn't have made it back in those days. Not with the way I am, my attitude. You ain't finna have me out there picking cotton and cleaning your house. No. But I know my ancestors had to go through that. I know they did. So I I can, sort of understand because of who I am. I'm black. A white person can understand what a white person go through, whatever they go through because they're white. With me being black, I can understand, you know, because it's still going on. It's still slaves out there to this day. You think it stopped? You think that slavery stuff stopped? Nope. It's still going on. But I know I've been talking for a minute, but it's the truth. I'm only telling y'all how I feel. And I stand beside my black people. Because wrong is wrong. You think I'm finna just go quiet and not say nothing when you kill somebody for no reason? That's not self-defense. That's out of hate. That's the devil in you. You hate somebody because of their skin color. Like I say with Jesus, everybody think Jesus is white. Most people think Jesus is white. Jesus, God, Eve, all of them, they all different race. They was here before humans was here. So how we know how they look? People say, "Oh, Eve white," or Eve could have been black or Mexican or Chinese or anything. We don't know. All we going by is what a book say or what they put a picture as, and what Jesus like, what Moses like, and what Joseph like. Like we never seen them. Never seen them. Never seen God, never seen Jesus. All we going by is what the book put on there. And Jesus, 9 times 10 is white. Have anybody ever seen Jesus? I don't think not, unless you're just dead. Real talk. We have not seen Jesus, so all we looking at is this book, and we seeing these pictures of Eve and Joseph and Moses and God and Mary. These pictures, we don't actually know. We ain't seen them. We never seen them. God and G. We never seen them. We just going by this book. They could be any race. And 9 times 10, somebody white wrote that book. Oh, God is white. You don't know? Oh, Jesus is white. Mary's white. Joseph white. None of us know. They make movies about God and Jesus, and he's white in the movies. I'm guessing they seen them. Oh, I know because I seen them. But you got to die to see him. You gonna be 6 feet under in order to see him. How did you see him and you making a movie about him? If you seen them, you would no longer be here on earth. As simple as that. If you seen any of them, Joseph, Mary, God, Jesus, any of them, you would have to be 6 feet. Your story would not get told if you seen them. Because you have to be off this earth, long gone, to see them. I don't understand they make movies and books about it, and even in the Bible they saying this and that. We don't know if God actually said that or Jesus actually said that. We don't know. We don't know. All we can do is try to be a good human being in this world. and hope to get in heaven. Because we don't know if God actually said those, those commandments, or Jesus actually, they saying Jesus died on the cross. I believe that. I believe that. I do. He died on the cross to save us. I believe that. But all the other stuff, the people was there who put him on that cross only know what color he is. I'm just being real. The people who put him on that cross and burnt and tortured him on that cross only know what actual race he is. We don't know. I don't know. Y'all don't know. I mean, let's be real. Only thing we can go by is that book, and I don't want to go by that book. Because somebody wrote it, and they probably ain't seen them. And whoever after that person ain't seen them, they can only talk about it because it's wrote down in the book, in the Bible. That's what he said in the Bible. But who wrote that Bible? Jesus didn't write that Bible. Jesus did not write that Bible. Yeah, he died for us. That's just what I believe. A lot of people believe different, and that's okay to believe different. But with me, ain't never seen him. I don't know what race Jesus is. I don't know what race God is, what race Mary is, what race Eve is, because I never seen them. So with them making movies about it, just making people believe, oh, this is how they look. How you know? How you met them? You talk to them? Come on now. Just this world. But all in all, y'all, we have to stick together. Y'all make sure y'all check out the women in the movement. It's on Hulu. It's a very powerful story about Emmett Till and his mother just going through the changes back in 1955. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my white friend, I'm going to even watch it again with him. Because, he dropped out of high school. So he probably don't understand. But he going to get a little history with me. Because we going to watch it together. And I'm going to get his opinion of what he think about that. Yeah. But I've been talking and talking. But I'm just letting y'all know how I feel about what back then, now. Because it's still going on. I'm going to go on and end this video. But yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Because I know y'all going to have a lot to say. But say it. Put it down in the comments. And trust and believe. We got a lot to do in this world. If we going to make a change, we got a lot to do. But on that note, make sure you subscribe. Give it a like. And you can catch me in the next video. I'm out.